Rise Minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 1 of Ruin Nation. And that was Mike's face as I yelled Arise Minions, and he died a little bit inside. Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back, everyone here at the channel. Guys, these are some faces you haven't seen in a hot minute. So here with me today is Mr. Bitters, it's KW Frags, it's Rydom, it's the anonymous Rhinoceros. So yeah, guys, we're going to jump in for episode 1, a little bit of a prelude to our Patreon/Twitch subscriber-only post-apocalyptic West Marches game called Mutant Year Zero Ruin Nation. So these are some faces you know, some faces you love, some faces you're okay with. And they're going to describe who their characters are, what their roles are in the arc, and what they look like and do, and, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. We'll start with someone who I know is very excited to introduce his character. Frags, who are you, where can we find you on the internet, and who are you playing today?
Yeah, I'm KW Frags. You can find me in the Discord or on Twitter, the same name and everything. Yeah, I'm playing Hammurabi. He is a gearhead of the Forerunners, and he's really into cars or ancient vehicles. We'll see what he calls them when the time calls for it.
And what does our friend Hammurabi look like?
Hammurabi, he looks like his face got smashed in with a frying pan. He's got a completely flat nose and face, almost pig-like, but not quite squealing. Pear-shaped with a big beer belly, and he really loves blue jeans.
Blue jeans. Okay, all right. Let's jump right over to Mike. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
So I'm Mike, the anonymous Rhino. I am playing Rufus. He's a dog handler. He has actually. I will read you what he looks like because I already wrote this out.
I can't.
His face, you could say, is, you know, a short, stubbly beard, and he has long golden locks. He has the face of a badass, and shades to stop the bullshit rest upon his brow. His body, you could say, you know, he's the epitome of power. One has said this. He's not super chiseled, but he has a healthy amount of body fat for emergency power and roundhouse kicks. All right, and sleeves are for the weak. I just want everybody to know that sleeves, just absolute weakness. You don't need them, and the enemy needs to see the power of your pythons.
That's the whole show.
All right.
That's it. Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I'm Mr. Bitters, and I'm not playing anyone today because I don't want to anymore. You can find me here. I only really do things here. When I'm not here, I'm like playing imaginary things on the internet, like video games. But I'll be playing Orwell. He's a big guy, statuesque. He's strong. He like represents everything that is magnificent. And he's got a great rack.
Ryan, save me. Who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
Hey, Ryan, aka Rydom. You guys see me around the Discord occasionally here for streams, charity streams, things like that. And we also help to do the movie nights that we do every month, once a month now. So check out the Discord for that when we start organizing. For tonight, I am playing a gearhead by the name of Mason Damari, and he's a bit of a rugged guy. Bald head, shaggy white beard, amber eyes, these piercings that just kind of run up both his ears. Stands about 5'9", 5'10", kind of toned, not really overweight, not really too skinny, pretty muscular though. Just massive arms, massive thighs and legs, and really calloused hands from just working all day in like just various tools, ancient artifacts, various mechanics, things like that. And he's dressed up with a red trench coat, this just grease-stained white T-shirt, these welding goggles that he likes to, occasionally wear for no good reason. And yeah, sweatpants and all.
We have some beefy boys. There's, some thick daddies coming out in the Ruin Nation episode 1. I don't know why I said thick daddies and you patted yourself down, Frags, but I appreciate the emphasis on what a thick daddy might look like.
Hey man, we're well fed for the post-apocalypse. That's all I can say.
Well, maybe that's why. That's why the Ark is running out of food, because we have the 4 thickest of daddies here to eat all the food in the Ark. Speaking of the Ark here is an old dam. You guys have positioned yourself on top of the Ark. This is a small town, a small city, if you will, where the residents of this Ark live. They call themselves the People. They are mutants. You are all mutated freaks and twisted funhouse images of what used to be what used to make for people in the post-apocalypse now. There are 5 factions that run this Ark. There are the Forerunners, which we've heard about. There are the Heralds of the New Dawn. There are the Brotherhood of the Signal, which we've heard about. There is the Lost, and there are the Screw-Turners Union. Everyone here in this game will belong to one of those factions. If you would like to belong to one of those factions and play this game, you need to be a subscriber here on Twitch or a patron at the $5 tier. And if you would like to sit around and hang out with us today and interact with that game, if you look down in the bottom corner of the screen, you'll see that we have a Bit Boss. Whoever takes over as the champion of the Bit Boss gets to declare one of those factions, and everyone from that faction gains a D6 to all of their rolls until the new Bit Boss takes over. Today we have 2 factions in play. We have the Forerunners. Mike and Ryan, I believe, belong to the Forerunners. No, I'm sorry, Mike and Frags belong to the Forerunners. And we have the Brotherhood of the Signal, to which Bitters and Ryan belong to. So if you guys want to take out that Bit Boss collectively, you guys can affect the game for now and for future. And the Bit Boss, I think, it'll roll over every time. That being said, you guys are settled atop the Ark. There is a long expanse of this dam. There's water kind of free-flowing over one side through a crevice in the dam, sort of spraying down over the lower inhabitants down in that general area. You guys sit inside of a well-known watering hole called the Hung Moose. Why it's called that? Well, you're going to have to ask the guy who owns it. He's not going to tell you. The 4 of you sit in the second floor of the Hung Moose. There is a large table, or what makes for a large table, and in this table is bits of paper that's sort of like tacked onto this thing. There's carvings in the table. This looks like the most ramshackled version of what would pass as a map here. You see fragments of maps. You see just pieces of paper that someone has doodled a map on. You see carvings in the table that link these pieces of paper together. This is what makes for what the stalkers report on when they go out into the zone. You guys are gathered around this, and with you is one of the bosses of the Ark. His name is Garvis. He is another big boy. Garvis is about 6'3", and he has 4 arms. And to show how important he is, he wears 2 sets of suspenders. One over the top arms, and one over the middle arms. Because, important businessmen wear suspenders. There's no shirt involved. What do you got? What do you got, Frags?
Sorry, but the logistics of this, that means he would have to have shoulders also on the bottom sets of arms.
He has to continuously pull them back up.
He just kind of has to hold them up.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have shoulders to rest the seconds of that. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So what he does is he keeps the top arms kind of down and it pinches the suspenders, and he mostly does things with the middle arms down here.
Okay.
It's the situation.
All right. I just wanted to get this picture
you got
straight.
That visual? Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're good.
There's no shirt. He is barrel-chested with a large tuft of Blanca-style hair just sort of coming out of the front there. But he is wearing pants for, thank God. Or whatever passes for God these days. He stands there in front of you, pointing, gesticulating at the map here. And he looks to you and he says, "The most precious resource in all of the Ark. It's something that we all take for granted. Clean water. You see, we have the water outside. It's poison. We cannot drink it. as you well know, this is like a narrative for people watching. Rot water everywhere, not a drop to drink. And the rain catchers are faulty. I didn't want to publicize this, but our geared heads, and he looks to Hammurabi and Mason, and he says, are doing the best job at keeping the rainwater collectors functioning. But I hear that there is a fresh supply of water, only a few days to the east. And I want you to get this for me. And he kind of steps back and crosses all four arms. What do you think about that? Is that a deal?
Alternatively, hear me out.
Sure. As he looks to your...
I could just kick the shit out of the gearheads until they get this stuff right.
Whoa, hey now, there's no need to get violent about this, all right? Not my fault that we haven't been provided the proper parts or blueprints for that matter to get any of this stuff done, all right?
Or
We're
the
literally
tools,
working with nothing.
or the time. Yeah, we got other things to do. It's not just the water.
See, Hammurabi knows what's up.
Eh.
Let's table that. We'll call that Plan B. Stick a pin in it. Circle back around.
Can
Other
we-
business jargon?
Can we call it Plan M?
Plan M for mutilation,
You know.
or you're making a joke? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because of
The
situation.
antlers.
no,
you
I
know.
get it. No, I get it. Yeah, we'll call that whatever the hell you want. Plan M for
Yeah.
for Meeple. Yeah. The point is, there is a fresh body of water a few days out to the east. I have it on good authority from someone who definitely didn't see it himself, because, you know, there's no secret expeditions out into the zone. Despite what you've heard, everything has to be sanctioned and approved by everybody. But if there was an expedition that wasn't approved to possibly go out there and find water, those who did might be a hero, or several heroes, or just one if only one makes it back. I don't know.
That'd be me.
Let's call that Plan M also, I guess.
So, since we're speaking in hypotheticals,
Yeah.
if we bring other things back that aren't water,
Yep.
we would hypothetically be owed those things, right?
You would be double heroes.
Yeah, but I don't really want to share some of the stuff I want to bring back.
We can discuss that when you get back.
All right, bring Elijah bag.
Now, this isn't, I'm not bringing this up with the other bosses. This is just a deal between you and I amongst friends. Is that understood?
Well, since we're such good friends and all, what's in it for us besides fucking water?
I like how everyone's Italian now. What's in it for you? Well, your friend Hammurabi here, he makes a good point in that, you know, a few things that you may find out there, you know, I could turn a blind eye when you get back to the Ark. Maybe you didn't find what you thought you found, and I didn't see you bring it back. How about that?
Wait, so all the other times I found stuff you weren't supposed to see that?
No, I was supposed to see that. Everything you find out there belongs to the Ark.
I didn't agree to these terms and services.
Well, then you can take a walk
Outside where all the good stuff is in the fresh body of water, all right.
right off
I
the
got my
drop. And he motions to the long side of the dam.
I mean, I could land it. I could do it. You know. Big whoop. Want to fight about it?
So I got secret tunnels. So do we have a deal? You're trying to get me to sweeten the pot. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about this? You get snuck out under the cover of darkness. No one sees you leave. The factions don't know you're gone. You bring whatever you find back to me, and we divvy it up evenly between the 5 of us. And no one else is none the wiser.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. So let's just fucking do it, huh?
You may think that's not a good deal, and that I just repeated my previous deal, and you're right, because I'm a businessman, and that's what
I'm sorry, I
do.
wasn't listening. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I could tell.
yeah. I'm just gonna. Yeah, we'll figure it out when we get back. Okay. We'll pin it. Okay.
Put a pin in it. Circle back.
Yeah.
Table it. For
Sometimes
later.
you put a ring on it, but this time we'll put a pin in it.
If you like it, you can put a ring on it. But today it's a pin. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Great.
Speaking of which, do you guys have a pin or a ring at the moment? I might need it to help fix this thing. And Mason's just like tinkering with a old video camera.
No.
Well, there's a bunch of pins in the table.
That's true.
You just see him duck under the table.
There's just like a bunch of push pins like all over the table. They're probably marking things. Like, is this anyone's first time going in the zone? No.
No.
No? Yeah, so you would know that there are pins that hold the paper together on the table, and there's also pins that mark places and locations on the table. But it's not very well maintained. So if you didn't put the pin there, or you weren't there when the pin was put down, chances are you have no idea what that pin symbolizes. So Mason could just pick up a pin that's probably something important and just be like, I need this. And no one would know who that's there for. But yeah, so Garvis looks at you guys and says, so we have a deal. Tonight, under the cover of darkness, you guys will sneak out. Yeah?
Tonight? Oh, holy hell, you work fast.
Yeah. Because I'm a businessman. Business is quick. Time is money, friend.
I can tell only a man of your business savvy would have that many suspenders.
You're right. You're damn right, Hammurabi. That being said, fuck you in chat. That being said, step 1 is don't get eaten by the zone ghouls. You all been out there, you know they're way more active at night. Right. Step 2 is make it to the beacon. I'll show you that tonight. It's to the east. You should be able to see a red beacon. That's where you need to go. That's where the water is.
There's this other arc out there that I've seen before. Bird ladies. You could go there and get a beacon.
I don't know if you're trying to make a moose joke or you're just trying to make a regular joke. Is that plan B?
For beacon, yeah.
For beacons. Yeah, no, I get it. It's just, it's not a good one. That's okay. I feel like I need to leave now.
I feel like you need to leave too.
Yeah. Is there anything you need from me before we use guys? No?
No,
Great.
I think we're all set.
Okay. Well then, tonight, when it's dark outside, we'll meet, sneak you out, follow the beacon. Don't die.
Are we talking like when it first gets dark or like a little later after it gets dark? Like how far into dark are we going?
All the way dark.
All the way dark.
Yeah.
But not before the sun comes back up.
Right. Yeah. That would be light at that point, right?
At the beginning of the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little subjective, but I think we get the idea.
Yeah, when it's all the way dark.
All the way dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to leave now. I have important business to attend to in my business office with my business suspenders. And he turns, and you see him loop 4 thumbs underneath his 4 suspenders and sort of puts them back up. And he kind of waddles out. He's think of 6'2" Danny DeVito is what he looks like as he kind of comes through, and he like sideways goes through the door, sideways closes behind you, and you 4 are left in this planning room in the 2nd floor of the Hung Moose with very little information to go on, knowing that you have to sneak out under the cover of darkness as a secret mission to find this water. What are you guys doing? You guys have a few hours before it's all the way dark, before you have to show up for that. So what are you guys doing with your time?
What's the hung moose's pet policy? I mean, I see that the moose is in here, but what about a dog?
You take that? The dog is fine. Your dog is follows you everywhere. You have to clean up its mess. That's the situation there.
Well, it's a mutant. He doesn't poop. He just eats it again internally.
Yep, I believe that.
What faction did you say Garvis was? It's Garvis, right?
I did say that Garvis was his name. Garvis is, he is one of the screw turners.
Scrooters?
Screw turners.
Oh, screw turners. I was like, what?
Yeah. They are, by and large, like engineers, builders, that kind of thing, and their entire outlook is to make the Ark the best place in the zone.
And they hate Ike Turner.
And they hate Ike Turner.
Perfect.
They love Tina Turners, but not...
Let me get this straight from this Gavis guy, but did he say to just find this water, or do we need to figure out how to bring it back?
I think that was implied, and...
But I mean, if we're talking a lot of water, how are 3 guys and a moose supposed to carry a lot of water? I mean, he's no camel.
That's right, friend. I'm not a camel.
Why don't you build like a big sack?
Yeah, you'd like a big sack, wouldn't you?
I would love a big sack, big boy.
What about like a really long straw?
Why do I invite you guys to stream?
I believe you're talking about a pipe. A really long pipe.
Oh, I'll show you a pipe.
Well, call it what you will. It's the same. You know, you suck on one end, you get a drink, right?
Yeah, get a drink from that sack. But in reality, can you get a tank? Can you build it? I mean, it's just like some metal you're banging around. You got it. It's good. Bada bing, bada boom.
I mean, Amarabi and I can build pretty much anything, but we need parts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all a moose point if we don't find the water, right? So step 1.
Right.
If we can establish location of fresh water, then maybe we can come back and get, I don't know, like a sanctioned quest and actually get ready supplies, you know.
All right. So in other words, we wait till it's way dark. Gotcha. And he goes back to tinkering with his video camera. Do you need this pin? No? Okay. And he just pulls the pin off the table.
In the meantime, is there anything anyone would like to do in the Ark before it is way dark?
Pretty sure Mason's pretty well packed up. He carries most of his stuff around with him. He doesn't trust a lot of people in the Ark to just leave stuff lying around.
Sure.
So he's just waiting.
Okay. Hammurabi, is there anything you want to do while you're hanging out in the Ark?
No.
Perfect. Good. I like that. How about you, Rufus?
No, he's just gonna take a nap with his dog.
Like spooning? Who's the big spoon?
Oh, the dog is. It's a mutant dog, so he's it's a corgi that's massive right now. So yeah.
Oh, so it is a corgi. We've established that it's a mutant corgi. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Speaking of mutant animals, Bitters, how about you, Orwell? Are you doing anything in the Ark before you leave?
Well, not all of these mutant ladies are terribly mutated. Orwell has to make sure they all know why they call it the hung moose. So he's gonna take up with a lady of the night before he goes out in the night.
Okay. Could you make the first roll of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd like you to do. I would like you to roll for me. Oh God, why is this my life? I need you to roll me a. Let's go with. That sounds like the worst kind of thing. Manipulate is the word, but let's go with manipulate. So
I don't have a manipulate.
Oh, you don't.
I'm
You
a
have
very
mood
special
things.
boy. Would we call that a
what's the
maybe
second?
dominate?
What's the second to the last one? Dominate. That's the one. Roll
All
me a dominate.
All right.
Even better.
You succeed. You
Hey.
have convinced a mutant of the night to take you back to somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where. And explain the origin of the name of the bar, to which you actually have no relevance other than the fact that you are a moose.
But by the time I'm done, everyone's gonna know.
It's way dark. Scene transition.
It's all the way dark.
Guys, it's all the way dark. Oh, fuck. It's all the way dark. You guys head towards the main gate on the eastern side of the... I believe it's the eastern side. The eastern side of the dam. You find that it is suspiciously no guards. There are no enforcers guarding the gate. What are you guys doing?
I do a tactical tumble anyway, and I roll behind some cover.
Okay. Just in the middle of the dam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, there's Charlie in the trees, man. You gotta watch out.
That's, you know what? That's true. What are the rest of you doing? You see this in plain darkness, this tumble roll in the middle of the arc behind what looks like a pile of scrap.
I feel like we kind of all know each other a little bit if we're just kind of all hanging out. So at this point, Mason's probably like not even phased at the fact that Rufus does these things all the time for no good reason that any of us seem to know.
That seems fair.
Yeah, Hammurabi's probably going to look at Mason and look at Rufus and just, what are you doing?
We're on a mission. All right.
And the three of us are just standing there, just like almost
Yeah, you
shoulder
guys
to
are welcome to get shot, standing up there like you statues.
I think the dog is still standing where you were and just looks at you and goes, have you taught the dog to tumble roll?
No, he's good. He just,
He
nobody
just
wants to shoot
rolls
him.
on his back and then breathes heavy.
He has nasal issues like a pug.
Is that Orwell's secret move?
Yeah. It's called the dead moose. It's a trick. So you guys make your way towards the gate. Whether Rufus joins you or not is a different story. You notice that, like I said, there are no guards there, and the closer you get to the gate, the more you find that what makes for this makeshift gate here is askew. There is essentially a piece of what we would know as like tin roofing that makes for the gate here, and it is open, about 2 feet, and no one is around. You would assume this could be your silent egress from the Ark, but no one's here to point you in that direction. It's up to you guys if you wait around and see if Garvis comes, or you guys just sort of slip out under the cover of the way dark.
I mean, I think we would know that. Just go on out. Don't wait for anybody.
Sure.
Whole
I
point
mean,
of that scene.
he did say that he was going to meet us, though,
He
right?
did say he was going to meet you, but this does look
Yes.
like a prime opportunity to just roll out.
Yeah, he didn't specify in or outside of the wall, so
Those were words, I think. Those were adjacent to words. So do you guys hang out and wait inside, or you hang out and wait outside, or do you just fucking say, go, we're going into the zone?
Yeah, Rufus wasn't listening to most of the directions
Yeah.
other than Red Beacon, so he probably didn't wait.
Okay.
Already starting to
So yeah,
walk
you
out.
guys see Rufus and, I'm sorry, what was the dog's name?
The dog's name is Mr. Coffee.
Yes, you see Rufus and Mr. Coffee begin to head out into the zone.
Weren't we with I thought we were waiting for the Garvis guy.
We got a chance to get out now. Let's just go and wait for him on the other side. He'll get the hint.
All right. Just looking around, just
Mumbles to himself and continues.
It'll be fine.
Okay. So you guys all enter into the zone, and as you said, this is not your first time. This is not your first zone rodeo. You know that the exits out onto a scrubland hillside, and it's a gentle decline down to where the land hits the lower Rot River. You know that it's going to take you a couple hours to get from the Ark down, but you look out to the east, and sure as shit, you see a red light in the distance, like far away in the distance. But you see this red light, and it blinks on, and then blinks off, and blinks on, and blinks off, and then you see it like blink, 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 blinks off, blink, 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 blink. And it seems to be blinking, either there's something moving in front of it, or it's a pattern, or it's just randomly fritzing. You're not sure from this distance, but you can see the beacon. It does look like it's a good distance away. It might not be, it looks like it's a distance that you will not get back by tomorrow. What are you guys doing? You don't see any hide or hair of Garvis. There's no extra suspenders about.
Did he say we had to actually go to the beacon, or it was just in that direction? Because that seems far, guys. Real far.
I thought he said, get to the beacon, follow the beacon.
Yeah, I think his exact words were, go to the beacon.
Ah, shit.
Are you sure he meant that beacon?
Is it red? I'm colorblind like a dog, so I don't know.
Next time somebody tells us to follow a beacon, perhaps we should step outside and look at said beacon. That's... all right, guys, let's go. Let's do this.
From behind you at the gate, you hear, Step 1, don't get eaten by zone ghouls. Step 2, go to the beacon. And then as you look back, you see the door closing behind you.
That beacon?
They got like secret tunnels. Jesus.
Is it red?
Yeah.
That's the one.
He's gonna look back at everybody else. Step 1, I guess.
Don't get eaten by the zone ghouls. That is Act 1 of Ruination. Don't get eaten by zone ghouls. So we are going to enter into the zone, and to do so, none of you are stalkers, which means none of you get to roll for Find the Path, which means none of you get some sweet, easy access ways out of the zone. If you look, I'm going to switch your scenes over here. If you guys look on your sweet, sweet map, that big copper token is you guys. You were told to go east. Judging by where the beacon is, let me see if I can. I don't think I can show this to you guys. It's about northeast, in a northeasterly direction. So you guys get to choose which direction to go to. You guys get to move that token on whatever tile you'd like, and when you move onto that tile, we discover what is in there together. So who would like to take it? Any of you can control it, so who would like to take control of that token and decide where you move first?
So is it coming from that area where it just pinged?
It is coming from a general this way area.
Okay, so more over yonder. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of hand. Let me see if I can adjust this so everyone else on the screen can see where it's coming from. It's coming from a general over here. Whap. Whap. There we go. Yeah, so who would like to take control of this and mark where you guys are going?
One move,
Not it.
just one step this way. I'll do
you
it.
can click on it and drag it right over.
Boom. How about that?
What's cool about this is it's actually going to give you a sight radius of what you guys can see from that location. So we're going to go ahead and roll some environmental things and see what we see in this area. apparently that shows up on the screen, which is not what I intended. That's okay.
It just says
It just shows your name.
GM.
Yeah,
Nothing.
not for my screen it doesn't, which is unfortunate. Because I'm the GM. I assumed I was in it as a player and it would not show that. But yeah, we know, whatever. Cool. So this is a rot level 1 zone, which means every day you spend in here, you will gain 1 rot point. So your best bet is to get in and out. Now, you have several modes of travel. You can get out of here as quickly as possible, or you can actually explore the zone and see what there is to find in here. You may encounter artifacts, you may encounter monsters, you may encounter unique, weird things. But how you get to where you're going is entirely up to you guys. So what would you like to do?
I vote we get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't like rot.
Okay. Whoever is in charge of this shit show, go ahead and roll me threat, which should be one of the macros on the bottom of your screen.
Nobody's in charge.
Nobody's in charge.
Hammurabi was leading us.
Perfect. You carry on. So it takes you about 4 hours to quickly get through this zone and into the next one. You guys may progress whichever direction you'd like to go in, and we get to do this all over again. Basically, every time you jump in here, you're going to be rolling a threat to see what's going on here.
And we're still on par for the beacon being this way.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
All right, you guys just want to keep going straight out, or?
That's this point for me to be is straight, right? That's where we go.
Yeah, but we could go up here. We could go north a little bit.
That's what I was thinking. Just kind of follow the river up a little bit.
Yeah.
Could do that as well.
Yep.
Cool. So you guys go there, and go ahead and whoever's in charge, roll me a threat.
There's base dice 0, right?
The base dice is 1.
Oh, okay.
But we got 0 last time.
Well, that's, so there you go. Yep, you are fine. So carry on. Again, another 4 hours. You guys have been traveling for about 8 hours at this point.
So does that mean it's no longer all the way dark?
It is getting a little bit light. It's a little bit light.
But we're not all the way back.
No, it's not all the way. It's not all the way bright. It's like probably like cusps of morning, like a good summertime 5 a.m. Get some of that twilight, those pinks and oranges, those mutant pinks and oranges. Yeah, so it's about to get light out. So far, you've done as you were told, which was survive the zone ghouls.
So what's our terrain right now? Is it swamp? Is it
this is all scrublands.
Wasteland?
So it's all like a dirty gray brown, and you see like scrub brush kind of sticking up there. Not a whole lot of vegetation happening on this area. Your dog is kind of foraging and sniffing around, and there's no real sense to pick up around here. I mean, unless you want to go into some tracker mode stuff. But it seems to be pretty like, it's not dense terrain. It's pretty much flat land, so you guys can see for quite a bit of distance.
Okay. I don't want to speak for the group, but I'm just assuming we're going to keep moving.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be caught out in that regards, right? We're trying to do this quick and stealthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
All right.
where are you guys moving to?
I moved up 1.
Okay. Roll me a threat. All right. You guys are good to go. So you continue moving forward. Again, this is getting to be more scrublands. You've seen that what you notice around here is there is a little bit more vegetation than previous. You guys have been traveling for about 12 hours now. You're now well into the morning. The sun is rising. You are in what appears to be just clear, flat brushlands. In fact, now that the sun is like fully risen, Rufus, you're acutely aware, possibly even Orwell, you are very exposed. Although you don't see any buildings around you, there's a few like rocky outcroppings, and there's like, it looks like there's like some kind of machine that's sort of just like toppled over. There's a few places to hide behind, but you guys, for the most part, are just in wide open brushland, like Serengeti style mutated apocalypse brushland. You seem very exposed, but you are able to continue. You see no threats before you. Would you guys like to continue on?
I assume so.
Yeah.
At this point, do we notice that we have to go more east than north for the beacon?
Roll me a what is perception? Scout. Roll me a scout.
So I have a 0 in that. So
a scout should be I think it's wits.
Yeah.
it's how many wits
You can
do I
also
got?
as a I guess your dog wouldn't really help you in this matter. You can sick a dog for your scout, but it wouldn't really help you in this matter. Your dog can't communicate with you. Anyone can roll this check if you'd like.
Yeah.
Sure. I have a +2 to it.
So, wait. So how do we? Okay. So I'm gonna need help. How do we roll this? Because it
So
says
on
base
the-
dice.
on the-
My skill.
Your base dice is your attribute. So,
Okay.
So it's wits, and then your skill dice is your skill, and then your
Which
dice
I don't
is your
have.
gear.
Oh man.
Okay.
Well, we have one success. So you are able to pick out in the waning darkness. It is much harder to see. Hammurabi, you are also able to see this. It is much harder to see this red dot, but you do believe you are still on a course of action. You might have to move slower to try to maintain visual of that, which would slow down your travel a little bit longer. Because right now you guys are just kind of speeding through these things without exploring. You're just trying to cut in a path, which has taken you 4 hours. Had you been exploring, it would have taken you 8 hours to square. So we'll say if you move at a bit of a slower pace to keep an eye on this, basically it's like a little red dot, right? And now it's sunny out, so it's getting harder and harder to see in the bright midday. So it might take you like 6 hours or so to get to where that is. 6 hours a hex rather.
Okay. So the question was, do we want to go more north or more east though? Based on we see the dot.
You see the dot in this direction.
Okay. So we want to go east.
Yep, that is the direction you see. So go ahead and move your token
Yep.
Moved.
It's been moved.
and roll me that threat.
3.
You are lucking out. Cool. So yeah, you see there is more and more vegetation as you go. As if you are getting... in fact, roll me a... anyone who would like to, roll me a know the zone.
Oh, I get plus in that.
I don't even get one of those. I know nature.
You can roll me nature. As a moose, you know nature.
I do. I do.
Okay, so we have a success from Orwell. We have a success from Mason, and we have Fragucci typing. No, okay, cool. So you, Mason and Orwell, you notice that there is more and more vegetation. Orwell, you notice that this is most likely due to there being some kind of water nearby. So this at least proves the claim that there could be water nearby. The scrublands you passed before, you're well aware, and Mason, you are also well aware, that the vegetation is very scarce because the water is poisonous. So while it does have enough water in it to kind of nurture some plant life, it more or less kills them, and it's more or less like those trees you see growing up out of the water that have like no leaves on them, and they're pretty nasty. But you're getting closer and closer, and the closer you get towards this beacon, the more you see like actual leaves forming on plants. For you, Orwell, this is enough to eat, since you can just eat weird shit.
I am I like.
Herbivorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are an herbivore.
I like to eat plants. So I think Orwell does rise to the occasion. He comes up with like a mouthful of grass. We're getting her. Yep.
Just casually bends over, just eats it.
This almost doesn't taste like shit.
Well, that's a relief because it was not that far away from a pile of some.
It doesn't count if it's mine.
Okay, all right. Fucking goddamn it. So, is there anything you guys would like to do in this zone? Are you pressing on and maintaining your view on this beacon?
How many hours have we been traveling at this
You have
point?
been traveling for a total of 18 hours.
Ooh, I think we're tired.
Yeah.
You are tired. Yeah. You have to sleep. So the way this works is you have to eat, sleep, and drink once every 24 hours, once a day. It hasn't been a day yet, but if you'd like to, you can. If you do not do those things, it becomes increasingly more difficult to heal your wounds.
Yeah, so if we go to the 20, obviously we don't want to go to a 24-hour mark.
Right.
That's going to really make us tired.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, if we're 18 hours, you said?
You are about 18 hours, yep.
Okay, so and we left at way dark, so now it's like pre-dark.
Yes.
Okay. Gotta love the time frames, guys.
Yep. You don't have clocks or know how to read most numbers. But you do know that you are, as Rufus pointed out, you are still fairly exposed. This is while there is more vegetation, you are still in flat lands, flat bushlands.
It might be worth just going into the next hex and then resting, seeing what's up and then resting.
Sure.
Because at that point, then we hit our 24-hour mark.
Yeah, because that'll be another 6 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that would bring us to pretty much middle of the night.
Yep. Yeah, you only need 4 hours of sleep in this system. So.
Oh, much like real life.
Yeah.
Huh.
So are you proceeding to the next hex and then looking for a place to bed down?
Unless anybody objects, I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, unless we see something here, but you said it's still pretty much.
It's still pretty much flat scrublands.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever's moving, I need you to move that token, and I need you to roll that threat at a level 2. Threat level 2.
That's base dice 2, right?
Yep, base dice 2. Base dice 2. Wow. You are some lucky boys. You are some lucky boys. Let's do this real quick. Cool. Yes, so you get over here. There is thick undergrowth. In fact, it is much thicker than the previous areas you had walked through. You feel it getting denser and denser as you continue through. In fact, your boots and your gear kind of get stuck through as you're trying to pull out of these. It's kind of like brambles, right? This entire situation. And you hear a deep, distant sound of thunder just sort of roll through the atmosphere. There's no rain, but I'll say that Orwell, you feel the hairs on your whole body kind of stand, and you know that rains are a-coming. Here in the zone, rains can mean many things. They can mean flash floods. They can mean just typical rains. They can mean acid rains, or they can mean rot rains. Not all of them are good. In fact, most of them are terrible. You don't know when the rains are coming, but they feel like they're on their way. You do see a metal road sign where you guys are. It seems to be pointing bi-directionally, and it says something. If anyone would like to read Comprehend, to roll me a Comprehend to see if you can read what this sign means, we can do that. Sweet. Mason, you are able to read the sign. You are one smart boy. As well as Mr. Rufus and Mr. Coffee. You can read that as well. You see that it is, a lot of it, the sign is scraped off due to wind, erosion, whatever, rust. But you read that the words you're able to read is pure plant. And it shows pointing a direction. And then you see oasis, and it points the opposite direction. The pure plant is pointing in the direction you guys believe. Well, you guys don't believe anymore. You can see the blinking beacon. The pure plant is pointing in the direction of the beacon.
So I imagine that it's like Mason, then Mr. Coffee, and then Rufus reading the sign. So Mason's like up close looking. All right, so we got a plant thing and he looks over and it's Mr. Coffee sitting there reading the sign.
I like that.
So there's a plant in this direction, and then there's the oasis in that direction. What do you think, Mr. Coffee?
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, which direction do you guys go? Or are you going to explore around here and try to find a place to bed down for the night?
I think that's the smart move is to.
Okay.
Bedrooms.
If you guys could, whoever is exploring, if you could roll me a scout. This one you can use Mr. Coffee for. Mr. Rufus, you can use the dog. Which you would roll sick a dog instead of your scout.
What's the stat for that?
For sick a dog, I think.
Well, sick a dog can be anything really.
No,
My dog, I can use it for several things.
Should be a specific thing. Sick a dog is agility.
Yes, but what I'm saying is there's other roles as a dog handler. It's beside the point, but yes, there are. I can use it for other things.
Yeah, you can scout for you, use your skill level in sick a dog and your wit score. You're right. Yep. Use your wit score as the dog doesn't have wits. So sick a dog plus wits. Anyone else that wants to roll scout is more than welcome to as well. Okay.
2 successes.
2 successes on a sick a dog. 0 successes from Mason. So let's see here. You find easily. You find your way. Hammurabi, you also find it. Together, you guys are finding things left and right. What you find is a low, squat building. It looks like it might be 2 floors from the distance at which you guys are. Plenty of windows on this thing. 2 large double doors wide open, sort of hanging off their frames. But it is a low, long building. There is a large metal pole just sort of standing in front of this thing. You see that it has some kind of small pulley system on top of it. And there is just a large, there's no like vegetation around this place. It seems to be some sort of like stonework around this entire building. You see that there's like small cracks of vegetation kind of peeking up through this. But that is the most solid structure you see in the immediate area, Rufus and Hammurabi. Rufus, you are able to ask me an extra question about this place. There are some suggestions here, none of which really apply. The suggestions they have here are, is it coming for me? Are there more of them close by? If you have a question about this area, feel free to ask it, and I will answer it for you. Rufus.
I could have swore you said Hammurabi. I'm sorry.
You rolled 2 successes, Rufus.
I know that now. Mm-hmm. I just thought you were handling somebody else at the moment.
Nope, sorry. So you both spotted this. You get to ask me an extra question.
Yeah. How far behind?
How far behind
are we from this?
How far
Is this
away?
on tracks? I'm sorry. I
How
was
far
reading
away
something
from
else
the
about
thing?
my dog, so I don't quite know the full context of what you're
You
asking.
found a building. The
A building.
okay. It's a building that you can sleep in. It's a squat, low building, long, many windows, 2 doors seemingly hanging off the hinges, stonework around the outside, vegetation creeping up through the stonework. There's a large metal pole with a weird pulley system on the front of it. You get to ask me an additional question about this
Yes, I
location.
do. Okay. I mean, building. Are the doors? Do the doors look functional?
They could be jerry-rigged to be functional. There are doors there. They're not missing entirely. They look like they're off the hinges a little bit. They don't look like they're fully functional doors, but they could be made to be functional. How about that? Cool. So if you guys would like, you guys have a place you can sleep for the night.
Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's get over there.
Cool. You guys descend down a small hill into this establishment. As I said, the ground changes sharply from dirt scrubland to this weird stone. You see cracks running through it, and a little bit of vegetation creeping up. You get to the front of this building. Mason and Hammurabi, the first thing you notice is that there's there's this large metal pole. It's probably like 60 feet in the air, if you could guess, if you knew what feet were. It's very high up there, much taller than Orwell. And you see that there is a frayed rope and pulley system that runs from the bottom to the top of it. It seems to be functional, although the rope seems to be shitty. If you guys wanted to recover that, you could. You also see that the doors, one of the doors, the upper hinge is bent off, so the door kind of hangs limply to the side, still attached at the base, and the other door just sort of limply swings open in a non-existent breeze. The building is dark, and you see that it has many corridors and hallways that descend deeper into the building. What do you guys want to do?
If I were to recover this frayed rope from the pulley system, does that affect the door?
It doesn't. It's a separate thing entirely. You could use the rope to secure the door, or you could take the pulley and use the pulley for some other thing that you could possibly want.
Well, I will take some time to salvage some if I can.
Okay. So as Mason is sort of like unspooling this pulley system and breaking it down, what are the rest of you guys doing?
These doors, you said they're off the hinges, or are they on like
one of the
slides?
doors swings open just limply. It's like two double doors with hinges, right? One of them just sort of swings open. The other one, the top hinge, seems to be broken off, and it's sort of like limply hanging only by the bottom hinge. It's repairable, but it's going to be a bitch. So you could essentially jury rig this.
No, because I mean, I feel like as long as it gives us cover, we're probably good.
Okay. Yeah, the doors are closable.
Yeah. So as long as we can close it and maybe just reinforce the door a little bit, we'll be fine.
Okay, cool. So Rufus and Orwell, what are you guys doing? You see that that Mason is pulling down this pulley system, that Hammurabi's inspecting the door and trying to get him to actually securely close. Shift one back up, slide the other one in, kind of slide them together. What are the two of you guys doing?
You said the interior is kind of like, it disappears into darkness, and we don't really
it's
know
very
what's
dark
in.
here. Yes.
I think Orwell will approach the door and unshackle his sledgehammer off his back. You got a light?
What? Most don't see in the dark? I don't know animal anatomy. I know mechanics and electronics.
Yeah, so you go mechanic, and I'm
mechanic in here right now. See?
I'm getting ready to bust heads. You can decide whether that's you or not.
Then I couldn't mechanic.
Yeah.
That'd be a problem for both of us.
Well, more so one of us.
No, until something breaks, like that lovely sledgehammer you got there.
I asked a question, we got a light. We got to find out, rule 1, don't get killed by zone ghouls. And have you guys looked inside? It's real dark.
Yeah, well, you don't always have to see something. Sometimes you can smell something, right? So Mr. Coffee might be able to find them.
Okay, Mr. Coffee could do that, yeah. Maybe flush him out, and I'll take off some heads.
That's doable.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'd like to scout out for zone ghouls with Mr. Coffee. You're muted.
I'm muted. Roll me a sick dog.
Sick as a dog. Okay, for this one, it's still wits, I believe,
wits,
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you're trying to do some tracking.
We are trying to do basically tracking. We're trying to figure out whether or not it's scouting.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out whether or not.
Let's see how tracking compares to scouting. Tracking, your dog can track a person or a creature when there are no obvious tracks to follow. All you need is a fresh scent or some object in possession. Nope, so you would in fact be scouting.
Okay.
So scouting is wits.
Okay. But I'm still using sick a dog to help with that, right?
Yeah, so you're using the dog to help you, right? You're not just doing it just by yourself, right?
Just want to make sure. 5
Holy
successes. All successes.
What the hell?
Wow.
Okay, so
So is that a crit?
You just found God.
it's like a crit. Okay, so fuck me running scout. That was well done. Okay, cool. So here's what's gonna happen. You are able to scout, right? Like you were gonna be able to scout no matter what. You're in a lone place. You're gonna get 5 questions. You have 5 questions to ask me about this place. Imagine you're scouting through this building. What 5 questions can you come up with about this building? So I'm going to give you a little bit of description here. You walk into the building. There's a sharp change from scrublands to this weird stone kind of, basically like a stone moat basically around this building, right? Flat surface. You walk inside through the double doors. The floor is cracked, but it's definitely not stone. What it is, you're not entirely sure. It definitely makes like a clack clack sound as you walk across this thing. It is a hardened surface, but it doesn't. It's very smooth to the touch in the areas where it's not like jagged and broken. You see that there is several hallways in what look like straight lines. Like you walk in and it splits and goes in 2 straight lines. And one way goes to the left, one way goes to the right. There's another passage that goes straight in front of you, and you can see that splits off to the left and the right again, and it continues straight and then splits off again. And as you walk through, you see that there is just a series of like long like cutouts, like where we would know them as like windows, but the glass is obviously not there any longer. And you see that there are small rooms dotting this both sides of these hallways essentially, and every time you break down a hallway, there are a series of these small rooms of varying sizes. Ones that could fit like the 4 of you guys pretty tightly, and then there's other ones that could probably fit like 10 or 15, 30 mutants maybe. As you kind of go deeper into this place, you eventually make your way to another like a set of double doors that hangs open, and peering inside you and Mr. Coffee, you can see that the floor changes again to this long wooden floor that just sort of, this is probably the biggest room in the building, and you see that there is this long wooden area, and it recedes back. On the other side, you see another set of double doors. So that's kind of what you see as you're walking around. What 5 questions would you like to ask about that?
So, are there any zone ghouls? Sounds like there aren't.
There are no Zound ghouls. The Zound ghouls. There are no Zound ghouls. There are no zone ghouls in this building.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like our objective here is just to rest. So one of them is there out of all these rooms, out of all these hallways, is there a decent sized room with a functioning door, or at least something that is easily barricaded?
Yes.
Barricadable.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's 2 questions, right?
That is 2 questions.
I mean, I'll source questions out of the rest of the team, and I might not be thinking of.
well.
So if you guys have questions, let me know.
I mean, I'm all full of grass. But, maybe there's food.
I was about to say, to me as a player, this sounds like a school. So I'd say, is there, non-perishable goods here?
Sure. Yeah, you guys are able to find another room. As you were kind of wandering through here, this room, again, the floor changes. There is this, it's similar to the floor of the hallways, but this one is a completely different color, and is far less traveled. And you see that there are these large metal contraptions that just sort of line the walls. There's a few more doors you can kind of go through. There's a few more of those cutouts you can kind of go through. And you do find that there is a locked door. With the quick bash of the sledgehammer, that lock pops right off, and you find yourselves in a cupboard, and there are metal cans of grub. What they are, you're not entirely sure, but you've seen canned food, like you've seen canned grub like this before, and you know that with enough force you can pop the top and eat your fill of whatever this is.
Hey, Mason, you got that little poppin' locking thing you got for these?
You want me to do what now?
Pop it so we can eat it.
Oh, I thought you meant that other. Oh, sorry. Hold on. And I go over to kind of take a look at it, see what I can make of it.
Yeah, so I mean, he's essentially asking for the old pop, lock, and drop it. You see, again, it's large. It's not like a tuna fish can. It's like the big like Cisco cans. It's like those. These big giant cans. You know that with enough force from that sledgehammer, you could break it off. You know that with a well-placed knife, you could kick that off. You're pretty sure that you have enough scrap on you that you could kind of jerry-rig something to pop the top of this thing off. You also know that while heavy, you could still take this food back with you and carry it around, if you so choose.
What if, guys, we use the cans to take water back? Just little bits of water.
They are big cans. They're probably like a good, I would say like a gallon. What I would say. I will say there's enough food in here to increase all of your resource die by 1. So if you have a D6 resource die, you could load up and increase it to a D8.
Okay, so we found food. What else should we be looking for? We already discussed threats.
We have 2 more questions, I believe.
Yeah, we have 2 more questions. Any other questions?
Sorry, was that just food or water too?
Just food.
Just food. I would assume there's like water sources in here.
You would
It doesn't
assume
seem clean.
that does not seem clean.
Okay.
There's no cistern here. You kind of find what you know as a faucet, right? Faucets are relatively common. You find one and you turn on, and this brown, just like you know when you have like that dry faucet and it sort of like sputters, and then it's like
Yeah.
and then like the shitty brown water comes out, and you can smell that there's something not right with it. So you know it's not drinkable. I mean, it's drinkable.
Okay.
You can drink it, but you're gonna get a
You're
rot.
gonna get sick.
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay.
get rot.
Any other last questions from the group? I can't think of anything else really.
One more question.
Yeah.
I don't know, anything that could be like salvaged, I guess. Like,
Sure. Yeah. Anything of value or great utility.
I will say yes. I will say, Rufus, roll me a D666.
A D666. Hail Satan. 225.
225. Interesting. Okay, cool. As you are exploring this place, you find... Oh, sometimes I love this game. You find a booklet made of brittle old paper from the old age. You can hardly turn the yellowed pages without tearing them apart. They show images of muscular men and women in tights fighting each other. The fashion sense during the old age was clearly very odd. This is what you find. It is an artifact. What it is and what it does, you have no idea. If anyone would like to attempt to roll a comprehend to see what this could be, you may do so.
Comprehend wits. Okay.
Okay, cool. So we have some comprehensive boys. Mason, are you going to throw down on this as well?
did
He
it not
did.
roll it?
He
You
did,
did
yeah,
first.
no,
Okay,
it's-
so,
Yeah, it just-
so got it.
Despite however many dice I get, I still have terrible rolls.
Yep.
So
So
Are
we
you
have-
gonna eat that?
Go over there and do your own move stuff. Get away from this.
Okay. So, you understand what it could be used for, Rufus, as well as Hammurabi. Hammurabi, you can teach someone else how to use this item. That's what your bonus success dice does. What this item is, this seems like an entertaining book for ancients, youths, maybe? Utes, if you will, depending on your dialect locality. This is very brittle, but having it on your person, you feel like it could. Let me double check here. It is worth something to the arc for sure. What it's worth for you is not a whole lot. This is a tiny item, Mike. So if you take this, it marks down as a tiny item in your thing. It provides no value to you because the words are faded. It looks very pretty. You could probably pocket this and no one would know, and you could have something to decorate wherever your den is on the arc, or you could turn it in to the Brotherhood of the Signal and see if they can make anything out of this.
Do the people in this magazine look pretty?
What you can make out on some of the more interior pages, if you're very delicate in opening this thing, the less sun bleached pages, they do look very attractive. They are very well muscled, chiseled, if you will, and they're all wearing very, very form-fitting clothes.
Yeah. No, Rufus is into it. Yep.
He's taking that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
This is what they called porn.
I actually wrote down wrestling magazine because he said they were fighting each other. In very
You're both
form-fitting.
wrong, but I'm glad that you are on at least a similar page. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. So you are able to barricade yourselves in a room with your new picture pages and your new food supply. Like I said, everyone, you can take your D6s and increase them to a D8. Bitters, I think you have a D8 anyway. That would increase to a D10 for you. That is just for food. And speaking of your food, if everyone can roll me whatever your grub dice is, as well as your water dice. So we'll start with bitters.
I would like to forego
Okay.
my food die to have grazed on the grass with my herbivore animal power,
Okay.
spending a feral point.
Cool. So you have spent the first feral point. I need you to roll me 1d6. You're fine. You nosh on some grass, some herbs, some twigs, sticks, no stems, and you have a delicious meal. That being said,
as for water,
success. You are fine. Let's jump right over to Rufus and Mr. Coffee. So roll me.
Don't we get a D8 if we had a D6 instead now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you have a D8 for your water. I'm sorry, a D8 for your grub and a D6 for your water.
Okay. So 3 and 2.
3 and 2. Okay, so 3 is your food. You are out of water. You have enough to drink right now, but you do not have enough for the next day. Could I have one from Hammurabi? Your food and your water. Close. That's your food. You have enough for tomorrow. And your water. You are good. Mason, I need a D8 from you and a D6. Success. You have enough food. Water, you have enough as well. So it would behoove you, Rufus, to find that water source because you're going to be one thirsty boy. Both mentally and physically. So that is it for you guys. You guys are able to barricade yourself into a room. In this room, the floor changes again. It's a coarse material. Doesn't feel like the floor is outside. Doesn't feel like stone. It is hard to the touch. However, it's coarse, but it's somewhat more comfortable than sleeping outside. You do see a broken down. Some kind of structure where it is cushioned, but it's sort of dilapidated and falling apart. You could probably spread the pieces out and give 2 people a very comfortable sleep. You also see the remains of a wooden desk that seems to be dilapidated and caved down in the middle. But that's what you guys see. You guys are able to barricade yourselves into this room with any pieces of furniture you may find, and you guys are able to rest. That being said, your 4 hours passes. The dawn's light is approaching. What are you guys doing?
This cushioned area would fit like maybe 2 people or 1 Orwell, and Orwell called it. He dove across the room and landed upon it, probably broke it more. Nestled down, and he's probably sleeping late, filling the room with like the smell of musty moose.
Everyone's favorite smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good scent. What are the rest of you guys doing? It smells like wet moose and wet dog. I just assume that Mr. Coffee always smells like wet dog.
That's rude. You know?
Is it not true?
No, it's not true. He smells wonderful.
Okay.
Smells like coffee all the time.
To possibly Rufus. For everyone else, he smells like musty dog. Like day-old dog.
Rufus would offer Hammurabi, because Rufus sleeps on, with, and around Mr. Coffee all the time. Mm-hmm. So like, here, you can go ahead and, put your head there, and you one of the ham hocks in the back, that as a pillow. It's real comfortable.
Hammurabi gladly accepts the puppy pillow.
Yeah. And in the middle of the night, Rufus puts an arm around you. You guys are cuddling. It's just instinct. It just happens. If
Mason, what about you, buddy?
Mason takes the kind of broken-in desk and makes it into almost like a armchair, but with without the legs, sitting on the ground. Like he kind of breaks some parts in, removes a little section, so it's like a place to sit, but he doesn't topple over either. And that's where he goes to sleep.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. The morning comes. Actually, I need everyone to roll me a, let's go with scout while you're sleeping. And it'll be a scout at a -2. So whatever your dice is, -2.
I don't have any dice.
So 0.
At -2?
Cool. Perfect. In that case, you roll 0. You don't roll.
I'm real heavy sleeper.
Yep. Who is that? That's Mason. Okay. Rufus, do you have any Scout left at -2.
No, am I okay? No, so my wits is 2, so that
Okay.
puts me down to 0.
Perfect. Hammurabi, what about you?
I rolled. Oh, there it is.
Okay, cool. So everyone else is a heavy sleeper. Great, good for you guys. Mason, you were woken up in the middle of the night and you hear, like, scratching outside, perhaps, and immediately you think that it could be Mr. Coffee having one of those running dreams, or it could be Rufus having one of those running dreams. And you kind of look around and it's nobody. It's not coming from inside the building. You definitely hear it coming from farther away, kind of echoing through the halls. It seems like it's definitely coming from outside. And that's it. You hear a few like yips and howls that don't sound animalistic, but it only lasts for a few minutes and then it's gone.
So, Mason's just startled. What's that noise? Rufus? Mr. Coffee was like, no. Orwell, you have one of those running dreams?
Kill you.
No. And you said it's coming out from like outside the building?
Mm-hmm.
Are there windows I can look out?
Rufus, would you have picked a room with windows, or would you have picked an interior room to barricade yourself in?
Rufus is a room with a view.
Okay. So yeah, there is a window for you to look through. You have one success. So if you peek out through the window after the sound, you hear those yips and howls, and you see a humanoid figure running away.
From here?
From here. It seemed to have been outside. It looked like it was coming from the direction of the front door, but it seems to be running away at this point.
So yeah, Mason starts waking everyone up.
Cool. You guys get a wake up call from Mason.
Hey, wake up! Hey. Hey guys, there was somebody just ran away from here.
Yeah, it'll show them. They knew better.
Yeah.
No. There was a bunch of noises, some yipping. Honestly, I thought it was one of you three. And he's pointing at Rufus, Mr. Coffee, and Orwell. I know how you guys get into your things in your sleep, and next thing you know, you're running into a wall in the middle of the night, but that wasn't the case this time around. There was actually guys outside. I think he may have been a scout.
Oh, like people? Not like...
people as in person. One, single. Maybe something with him or not. I'm not really sure, but I saw one guy. He ran off. Look, and I point out the window. He went that way.
And which way is that? Is that towards Oasis?
You see that it's not towards Oasis. It's towards the north. If you're looking at the door to the building you're in, if you passed like straight through the door, you'd be still continuing the direction of the beacon. So this thing runs straight north, like along the building. So basically, it's running. If you look at the map, it's running up. It's running in a this way direction.
Okay.
Clearly, it looked in the window. It saw me, and it thought, "No, I'm out of here, and this isn't a problem anymore." So, why don't we go back to sleep? And if we wake me up again, I'll kill all of you.
Stop being so ignorant. God.
Right. So you're gonna go sleep right by the door. So when they come in, they wake you up and you kill them.
Sure.
Perfect plan, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. Foolproof.
Yeah.
Fucking
Help
idiot.
me drag this soft thing over there.
You're like an 8-foot tall moose. You really need help carrying it's a cot. It's a broken cot. It's like twigs with a little bit of bedding. Like, God, you're so lazy. Mason goes over and reluctantly helps you move it.
So you guys are. I assume you're further barricading the door to the room you're in.
With Moo's body.
With Moo's body. Perfect. Okay, great. So you further barricade the door with moose bodies, and then you all return to slumber. Is that what I'm picking up here? Perfect. You guys are easily able to drift back into slumber. How many hours are you guys planning on sleeping for?
Well, was that at the 4-hour mark you said?
It was a little bit before.
Okay. I'd try for like another, like hour or two.
Okay. And I assume you're going to be the one that wakes everybody up. Is that what your intent is?
Yeah.
Long enough that at least they all wake up and think, God, should we wake him up?
So
And then Orwell will start to wake up on his own.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So everyone wakes up. Are there any strange morning rituals that I need to be aware of with you, pack of weirdos, or do you just wake up like normal mutants? Whatever that means.
Mason does his usual check, looks, makes sure nothing's missing, everything's where it was, pulls out the video camera, tinkers with it for a bit till people start waking up, or unless he realizes that he lost track of time again and it's been a while. But, usually he's good about that sort of thing, like 60% of the time.
60% of the time it works every time, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
What about Hammurabi and Rufus?
Rufus, he has his morning bath time with Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee grooms him, so does that.
They groom each other.
Rufus? Does Rufus groom Mr. Coffee?
Yeah.
And if so, how?
Well, see, the thing about Rufus is that he's reptilian, so he's got a tongue.
Yeah.
So he uses his tongue. He can get him right back.
Yeah, and you got to get those hard to reach places.
Yeah, exactly.
Hammurabi, how about you, buddy?
He's gonna roll over.
Noises. You wake up like.
Every time with the dog. He's gonna roll over and look for his armor that's very easily put on because it's just modified catcher's equipment. And, he slides it on, gets his shin guards on, that has metal plates riveted into it, and he's kind of big, so he can't quite reach the back clasp. Hey, Rufus.
Bath time.
It's just 1 second. Just need you. Can you hand me the clasp?
And he takes his toes and helps him clasp it.
Okay. All right.
Orwell, you are awoken to the struggling noises of a fat man in a little coat. As well as licking noises from both Mr. Coffee and Rufus on Mr. Coffee and Rufus. It's not the most pleasant way you've been woken up, but it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got a question.
Sure.
So, as a gearhead, would I be able to make a shield out of parts of the desk, like a flat portion of the desk?
Yeah, roll me a jury rig.
Cool. So it is, and bam.
This looks like one success to me. Cool. You have a shield. The shield is worth 3 armor. It is a regular basic item, so it costs 1 armor or one endurance, and you can add that to your armor slots. That's it. You are able to wear 1 armor and 1 shield. That's your max armor.
So,
you know what? Hammurabi's gonna see him doing that.
Go for it.
And he's gonna want to do it too because he's not to be outdone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's see.
So, would you like to make a better one?
I want it to look like his, but bigger.
Yeah.
Like if he uses if I'm assuming it's like the regular school desk,
Yeah.
and he probably pried one of the desks.
It's like an office. It's like an office desk. It's just bent in the middle, like the wooden
Yeah, I want to take a full one.
Okay. Yeah. So you snap off, and you. I don't even know how you do this. You snap off the desk, and you're bending metal pieces out around it, so it's kind of spiked and whatever, and it just looks like a far more impressive. You have a level 4 shield, so it is worth 4 armor. It is still a basic item, so it costs 1, and that is your inordinate amount of armor that you have right now.
Does Orwell or Rufus have any form of armor on at all?
Orwell is head to toe hockey pads, right?
Just I mean, like, yeah, like the shoulder pads. He's got a real big set that's even big for him. But yeah,
It's an authentic Canadian.
yeah.
They make them big in Canada.
So is that like just cosmetic or
No,
legitimate?
he has armor. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a shit of armor too.
Rufus doesn't.
Rufus doesn't.
Nope, he only has his leather jacket and some leather pants.
So you see Mason like trying to work with his new shield, and he's got these brass knuckles on while holding the shield. He's like trying to punch with the shield. But I don't know if this is gonna work out so well. Hey Rufus, catch! And I toss it to you like a frisbee.
Okay, I'm gonna let that happen. That's it. That's that one. You have a shield.
And mine's gonna resemble like the Centurion shields, the ones that are almost like come up to like your chin.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a big one to get behind.
Now, are you small?
He's about average. He's about 6 foot,
Okay,
6'1".
okay.
You know, he's not a giant, but he's not small stature.
Yeah. Cool.
He's just rotund.
So you've ramshackled this this armor. You've ransacked this place. You've taken all the shit. Are you paying any heed to the runner, or are you guys just saying fuck that guy? He was afraid of us. Let's just move on to the beacon.
I mean, I'm still a little weary about it, but
My call is we keep moving. He went in the wrong direction. And we'll just keep an eye on our back.
Orwell honestly forgot all about him. And like as everybody was building armor and shit, he went outside to relieve himself and like rub his scent all over the trees that are around the edge of the building.
As you come back in, so I think that we should try to cover up our tracks a little bit when we go to leave from here. You know, we don't want anybody to know we were here other than the guy, and we don't want them to really know where we went, right?
Oh, you say that, but these are my woods now.
What do you mean these are your woods? This is a warehouse. I don't really know what this place was.
Go outside and have a sniff. You'll know.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's pure moose, baby.
It smells
Alright.
like just hot urine outside, right outside the door. That's what it smells like. You can't actually smell moose musk on the trees, but you can smell that hot, steamy urine. Oh man.
I mean, I said cover our tracks, but I don't really know if that's gonna help or hurt.
Look at me.
Definitely hurts my nose.
Look at me. Who's following me? Huh?
I mean, every animal out there at this point.
You know, you're the cockiest moose person I know.
You're the only moose person I know. I don't know why I'm using your voice.
I like to think you were mocking me.
Yeah, that's kind of what yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Nah, no thanks.
So as the four of you head back outside, Rufus, you see Mr. Coffee as you guys are walking, out of this sector to the next one. You see a few trees. Mr. Coffee stops and like he gets rigid and just at the trees, and then continues walking. You can assume that those are the trees that were specifically marked by Orwell. He can smell the moose scent on those trees.
Yeah. I would assume he tries to cover him up too.
Well, he like goes and sniffs around them, and you can see that he can tell they're clearly marked by another animal. And I don't think he, unless you force him to, I don't think he tries to double mark. I don't think he tries to claim the territory because he can. Smell
most
it
dogs
on
do
Orwell.
that, but yeah,
he can smell it on Orwell, so he knows that the owner is still here.
he pees on Orwell.
Okay.
If I dominate the
my pee
dominator, I'm the dominating.
Yeah. This is for me. Oh fuck. Okay. So if you guys want to move to the next hex, you guys can do that, and whoever is in charge of moving, roll me a threat level 3.
Yeah, so are we going towards the Oasis or the something plant?
How about towards that beacon?
The pure plant was pointing in the direction of the beacon.
The
So we're going
pure
towards the
plant.
plant.
Yeah, that's what you were able
Step.
to read the sign said.
Yes.
Step 2.
Step 2. So you guys can move forward one more hex and roll me the threat level 3.
So does that mean we move to the east one more or up one more if we're going towards the plant?
Think up.
Either one. You should be able to see it on your map now.
I mean, I see it. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Okay.
Yep, that's where it is. So it's whichever one you decide to move to.
Yeah, north is good.
Cool. Whoever moved, go ahead and roll me that threat.
Threat. So you said level 3? So that's
I
the base
did
dice?
say level 3. Yep, base 3.
Oh no!
Bum, bum, bum.
You know that guy we ignored?
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, cool. I love random tables. This is awesome. Cool. So you guys make it through this zone. You hear that there are these strange tremors. I think probably Orwell and Mr. Coffee notice it first, right? You're feeling these weird tremors under the ground, and after a while, Rufus, you can sense that Mr. Coffee is like on edge. Like his ears are kind of tucked back, his tail is tucked in, and he's walking far closer to your leg than he would be normally, as if either seeking protection or to protect you, but he knows that something is wrong. Orwell, you have the same sense in that you know that there's something around. And before you feel this, the two animals feel this before anyone else does, but after a few minutes, you guys all hear this like this movement. You hear this like rumbling sound, and you feel this like this subtle vibration underneath your feet. It doesn't seem to be aggressive. It's just like this wasn't there before. It's definitely noticeable. You see that there are ruins all over the place, collapsed buildings. You can see in the distance where that red beacon was kind of coming from. It seems to be there is this large structure. You're not sure what it is, right? There's this large structure that's rising up from the top rising up from out of the ground. It's this huge
Big structure just
this
rising
huge
right
structure
up.
with like a little thing at the top up here, just rising right up out of the center of this area. And you can see now that there are several things sticking off the top of it, also off the top, that have blinking lights on them, and they blink, in like a sequence around in a circle. What you see in front of you, though, among the ruins of this place, you see another squat building. It is 1 story tall. There is many smashed out windows, essentially. Another one of these, it's no longer scrubland. It's all this stone, the same kind of stone you saw in front of the last building. You see that there is a large metal rod, basically, kind of like the last one, like the one with the pulley system on it, sticking out of the ground. And on top of it, there is like a large arch that just sort of sticks up on top of this thing. And you see that there is this building. Parts of the ceiling are kind of caved in. You see there's, like I said, a bunch of smashed out windows. It looks like there is a sitting room on the inside of this place. There are tables and there are chairs that are sort of like facing each other, kind of like the Hung Moose, right? These are clearly tables, like a dining facility. And you see a lot of metal machines inside of this building. And as you progress through the zone, whether you stop here or not, you continue to hear that like grinding noise, and you hear like this you feel this strange vibration coming from underneath you. What are you guys doing?
This doesn't feel natural, guys.
Yeah, can I roll a know the zone to figure out if I know what this is?
Yeah. Go right ahead. What the noise is, or what
With the vibrations and stuff
sure.
are. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there it is. Sure. Let's see what do I have in there. I have at least a 2. Yep. Okay. So.
Cool. So this is actually. I would like you to tell me why you would know, this far out in the zone, why you would know what this creature is that burrows underground? How have you heard rumors of this monstrosity? What have you heard?
Well, Hammurabi is he's a nut for vehicles. He wants to build the best mobile base station for his faction and for the Ark, and he's seen that things that big, small, whatever they are, they till up the ground in certain areas. He's never seen them. He's felt the sensation before once he's found places like this, but it fills up the ground, and sometimes they can bring forth, almost pristine condition materials for vehicles, from motors, transmissions, pulleys, gears, axles, different things like that. So him and some of the other guys, some of the other gear turners of his faction have come to know that if you find the rumble, there's bound to be some good stuff.
Fantastic. Okay. So that's what you think this is. What it is in reality is not that. You feel this rumble as you begin, and Hammurabi, you begin to look around, and you're like, oh yeah, this is. I'm about to find some good stuff. I'm going to find a motor. I'm going to find some gears, a crankshaft, whatever, what have you. You think this is one of those underground grinding machines that often upturns these things, and you're sort of kind of on edge, looking for this in an excited manner. What you see instead is much like you would expect, as something begins to surface out of the ground, almost tilling the soil in a circular motion. But what actually comes out is this thick, veiny, massive purple monstrosity as it plunges forward out of the ground, and you just hear this, and you see just a row of razor-sharp teeth grinding in a circular motion as this thing bends and arcs down towards you in front of whatever this establishment is, and you hear it roar again, and you just as rocks and metal are grinding and falling out of what you can assume to be its mouth. And with that, we're going to take our break, and we'll be right back.